what is your name and what is your role?
I'm Ann MacDiarmid and I'm the mayor of Seguin Township.
What is your relationship to Seguin? Did you grow up here and move here for a job or college?
I grew up cottaging on Little Lake Joe, which was originally part of the town of Humphrey. And when Humphrey was amalgamated into Seguin, I became a Seguin resident. So I've cottaged here since I was born and I've been a ratepayer since 1981 and then moved from where we owned property over to my parents' original land in 2014, and we've been year-round residents since then.
And how long have you held your term or your current position, and how many terms?
I was first elected in 2018, so I'm just finishing my first 4-year term and have been acclaimed for another 4 years.
Why did you first decide to run?
I've always been involved in community, and this community is very important to me. I'm on land that my family bought in 1947, and I wanted to contribute. I started out saying, sure, I'll think of being on a council, and then a group of 3 past mayors of Seguin said, you can't be councillor, you have to be mayor. And I said, okay, I'll run for mayor if you'll run my campaign. So they did, so there was a little bit of arm twisting in there, but I wanted to contribute to the community.
How has Seguin changed over the years?
Whew. When I was a little girl on Little Lake Joe, there was only 3 cottages. We're 187 now, in the same area, on the same shoreline. So that's a big change. When I grew up at our cottage, we didn't have electricity, running water, or a road. We got pretty close by road and then rowed a little rowboat in with my brother, sister, mom and dad, and a cat usually. Groceries were delivered once a week from the Rosso General Store by Ener Finson, who is the father-in-law of one of our councillors, Gail Finson. Also, the Sagamo, the steamship, the Sagamo, sailed every day from Gravenhurst up to the top of Little Lake Joe to a place called Natural Park, which was a provincially owned park. And people, they called it the 100-mile cruise. So people would take the train from Union Station in Toronto to Gravenhurst, get on the Sagamo, sail up to Little Lake Joe, walk up a silly little path to look over a lake that we call Muir Lake. And we rode to the Sagamo every other day to get fresh milk and our mail. That's how we got it. So we were here all summer. My mother and the 3 kids, we were here all summer. No car, no telephone. Dad would come up on weekends on the Canadian National train. They would stop at McTier and somebody from Foots Bay would pick up all the fathers in I think a pickup truck, put them in their boat and deliver them to each dock on Friday night and pick them up again Sunday afternoon. So things have really changed. I mean, the thought of having television or internet, which we're all demanding now, was just unheard of. I can remember when the kids were small, I wasn't even allowed to write a check in the local AMP store because I wasn't local. I had to have cash for the whole summer.
Then how has your municipality changed over the years?
Well, we've certainly technologically have made great strides, and partly because of COVID, because we were able to keep the public away. So all of our permitting now is cloud-based. It's all open text for building permits, septic permits, all of those things have come a long way. The days of the great, huge, building plans are gone. It's all done on CAD. And I'd like to think in the last 4 years, we really have changed the whole culture. Our staff is younger than it was. Our directors are younger. I see them working together. I can walk down the halls in the Seguin office and there's laughter and fun and lots getting done. And I'm hearing good things from the constituents as well.
Prior to COVID, what was your greatest challenge as mayor?
Changing the culture in Seguin, making a customer-focused culture. Since I took office and through COVID, we've changed 100% of our senior management team with one exception. And that's been a challenge. It's working really well. Hiring a new CAO in the middle of COVID wasn't easy. And he having the challenge of changing the culture during COVID, as he said, he worked for 18 months for the township and he never shook anybody's hand or saw them without a mask.
When you first heard about COVID, what were your initial thoughts?
Little incredulous, I guess, at first, that in this day and age, something as small as a microorganism could clobber society, really. And I think we thought that we were a little town, Northern Ontario. This can't be that bad for us. And then as the weeks unfolded, I remember the first week, do we keep the library open or not? Is Parry Sound library open? Okay, we better do what they're doing. What about the arena? And the biggest impact for me was I got a call one day from the Ministry of Health asking if we could keep the ice in our arena in case we needed it as a morgue. And with that, I thought, this is serious. Thank goodness it was never needed, but that was a real wake-up call for me that COVID is everywhere.
Where were you when you first heard about the lockdowns in Canada, and what were your thoughts, and how did you feel?
I was here, I was living here, really that first week was on again, off again. Are we going to close this? We're going to close that? Are the schools closing? We just didn't know how to cope with it. And then when some people said, don't travel, don't go to your cottage, don't go to your property, those kinds of things, I didn't really agree with that and was a little bit of a outlier because I felt that anyone who owned property in the township of Seguin has every right to be on their property as long as they follow all public health guidelines. So unlike our premier and some of our neighboring mayors, I welcomed our Seguin residents as long as they were conscious of all the public health guidelines. And our businesses needed them.
Do you have many Americans in Seguin Township?
We do, quite a few. And I got many calls. Can you get us across the border? And my answer was always, small town mayor has very little impact at border control. So yes, we missed them for at least one full summer and most of the other summer.
What do you think your greatest challenge has been during the pandemic?
Again, culture. Keeping staff energized, committed to doing the best they can, being customers focused when the township office doors were locked. You know, how do you be customer focused when I'm working from home on a laptop and the telephone call is forwarded? It really was keeping the team spirit and the focus on customer and making our place as welcoming as we could with doors locked.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I think we've got a wealth of history in this area, and it's neat to be in the museum. We need to do better about making it accessible. And you know what's here, but there is a lot of history here. I was asking Nadine if she had any pictures of the Queen's visit, because I was 7 years old when the Queen came to Parry Sound, and I remember my mother brought the one dress for the summer, so I would have a dress on, and we sat right out here and watched the Queen and Prince Philip come by. They sailed into Parry Sound on the Royal Yacht Britannia. Came up the St. Lawrence and sailed into the Royal Yacht Britannia, and
wow.
a motorcade came right by here.
Wow.
Thank you, Bert.
You're welcome. Thank you.